Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Conversations with Kinshu. Today we're talking about the World Happiness Index, where India currently occupies the 122nd position. Happiness is increasingly considered an important and useful measure to come up with policy decisions in India and across the world. The index is based on 6 variables: purchasing power, social support, life expectancy, freedom to take decisions, generosity, and perceptions to corruption, out of which the first 4 metrics take the most important part of any index. We're going to discuss this. We have with us the leaders of the Smiling India political party. A very warm welcome to you, who will engage with us on what they feel about India's rank on the index and how they can go about improving it. So Sanya, a very warm welcome. Can you please share with us your vision for India?
Thank you for having us here. We envision that India will be within the top 100 ranks in the next 3 years, and we believe that by the successful implementation of all our recommendations, India can attain ranks which equal that of the BRICS nations, that is between 90 to 100.
Wow, that's pretty ambitious. How do you plan to make it happen?
We first aim at increasing the per capita GDP or the purchasing power, as that has the maximum weightage in the index. The income levels of the general population are generally attributable to the employment landscape of the country, and it is this employability that we aim to improve by developing skills through training programs.
Interesting. Can you elaborate a little more about what these employment programs would be?
Okay, so our country already has a lot of these training programs and employment generation schemes, vocational or otherwise. Our aim is to basically consolidate all of these programs and schemes to avoid duplication and in turn save costs and ensure maximum effective implementation. So additionally, we also intend to increase the focus on small and medium enterprises in India. The basis for our recommendation is that while large enterprises provide employment to only about 1 crore 25 lakh people in the country, SMEs employ approximately around 11 crore people. So there are several small steps that we have planned to ensure the grassroots level implementation of several of these monumental schemes that we have in place. And we aim to increase female participation in the program from the current figure of around 48% to at least around 55%. This we aim to achieve by ensuring safe and conducive working environments, especially aimed at women. Now, for example, the primary concern that impedes women from participating in such programs is that they fear on losing out on time with their children. We have narrowed down on a lot of these training centers that are located near government schools to give the women additional impetus to walk into the training centers while accompanying their kids to school.
Wow, that's pretty smart. So not spending too much on coming up with new programs, but consolidating existing programs. Interesting. Prateek, what's your take on freedom?
We see freedom through 2 lenses: human rights and press freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and minority rights are the 3 main areas which are seeing significant breaches currently. So mitigating them shall cause significant impact. To do this, we will deploy more personnel on case basis instead of waiting for orders in case of religious clashes. For this will require a lot more money and a lot more police force. The police force can be ensured by increasing our intake from this year onwards. We will allocate 2% more budget to this cause by taking that chunk from our aviation partners.
That seems pretty thought out. But what did you mention about press freedom? I didn't quite understand it.
For press freedom, media independence and strong legal framework is very important. We will start a platform where media houses can express political influences so they can work without any duress. We will also direct the Press Council of India to abolish censorship. In the short term, this may cause public concern, but this is a long-run game which will facilitate tolerance and harmony in the country. We will also strongly monitor the private companies which host digital content and ensure that they are not misusing public data or creating any disruptions on digital content.
It's interesting, but how does one measure freedom? Like, is it freedom a binary variable on the index? You either feel free or you don't.
Absolutely. The WHI takes a yes and a no answer, which is why we are going to parallelly measure our rankings on the World Press Freedom Index, where India ranks 138 currently, and the UNHRC Universal Human Rights Index, where we can measure India's performance on several human rights criteria by comparing it to similar nations.
Manu, I understand that social support is the second most important aspect on the index. What's your take on that?
I'm glad you asked this. In India, every hour, one adult commits a suicide. You know what is the top reason behind this? Failure to cope up with the pressure of exams and careers. To make matters worse, 87%, there's a shortage of 87% of medical health professionals in India. And we spend less on medical services than a country like Bangladesh.
Yeah, that does look like quite a sad state of affairs. But what do you plan to do with it?
For school students, we will introduce mental health and awareness curriculum as part of their school course. I personally believe that if children are able to develop this particular skill in their formative years, they'll be able to ask for help better in their later part of the years. So currently, there are close to 3 psychiatrists per 1 lakh citizens in the country, which is a menace. So, in order to curb this, we plan to deploy additional mental health professionals all across the country, starting with specially deploying more people in the counseling centers of universities.
And where will all the money for this come from?
So, as I said, we currently have a budget of close to 0.06% allocated towards these kind of services, whereas a country like Bangladesh has this number close to 0.36%. So, we plan to bring India on parity with respect to this measure.
So what about the risks that you foresee with it? What are those?
So, we might foresee a potential backlash from parents for the increase in the school load pressure because of the additional curriculum which we're planning to introduce. However, we plan to sensitize the parents at the same time through TV and radio campaigns so that they understand the importance of such courses in their children's life and they actually encourage their children to take such courses.
Rohan, healthcare is another very important aspect of the index. So let's see. We have a surge in medical tourism, but on the other hand, we have basic issues of quality, accessibility, and affordability.
Absolutely correct. A plan will target the 3 areas as you mentioned correctly: quality, accessibility, and affordability. To improve upon the quality and accessibility, first of all, we need to address upon the dearth of the number of doctors. For this, we are planning to turn the district level hospitals with at least 1,000 beds to medical colleges. This will influx more doctors into the healthcare system and eventually result in an improved doctor to patient ratio. Further, we plan on making it mandatory for the fresh pass outs to serve in rural areas, thus addressing the accessibility part. Next question comes about how to financially address these resources. Once we come to power, we are going to allocate at least 4% more than the current allocation. So that's about it.
But in the urban and semi-urban areas, private hospitals are actually becoming pretty important. What do you think about the transition into rural areas, and what about private players entering or not entering the rural areas in the local
Absolutely.
time?
We also have plans for private players. You see, land or rent costs can be as much as 20% of the total costs for running the hospital. And so we'll target reducing these costs by outlining specific areas in the district just for clinics and hospitals, thereby incentivizing the big need to penetrate the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. This land allocation would be in a lease form and the cost will be recoverable post 5 years of operations. 5 years is the time which generally takes a hospital to break even.
I see. So I see your party is taking on the 4 most important variables out of all the variables in measuring the index and focusing on those variables to get the maximum impact. I also note how you guys are streamlining existing policies instead of spending a lot on making new policies. So I wish you all the very best.